Hi guys, Mark here. Thank you for joining me. In this tutorial, I'm going to cover the multi-strand Conquistador braid. The usual way of doing the Conquistador braid is with a single long piece of cord. This creates problems since you have to pull a long piece of cord through all of your loops. Not only that, sometimes the cord does like to tangle up. By using multiple strands, you alleviate the situation of using a long cord. Instead, you use several shorter cords. Let's begin with our initial setup. I attached a lacing needle onto each end of my cords. I'm now going to attach my cords by folding them in half, feeding them through my buckle, then sliding one of my ends through like this. You could also use the lark's head knot. I'm going to do the same thing with my second cord, folding it in half, feeding the middle point through my buckle, and again sliding a single end through the bite at the center. So this is one of many ways of starting out. I think it looks good and it works well. We begin braiding from the bottom up. Grab your first cord, form your first loop. Pass your first cord over the second one. Using your second cord, form your second loop. Pass your second cord over the third one. Form your third loop using your third cord. Pass your third cord over the fourth one. Form your final fourth loop. Tighten a bit. We now braid down. Start with your top cord. Form your first loop going down. Pass this first cord from the top over the second one from the top. Form your second loop. Pass your second cord over the third one. use the third cord to form the third loop. Pass over the fourth cord, form the fourth loop using the fourth cord. We now reverse direction, again from the bottom up. Starting with our first cord, passing over the second one, doing the next loop, passing over the next cord, doing the next loop, passing over our final cord, doing our final loop. We now reverse direction, starting with the top cord, doing our first loop, passing over the second cord, doing the next loop, passing over the third cord, doing the next loop, passing over the next cord, doing our final loop. Continue exactly the same way until you reach your desired length. This concludes our tutorial on the multi-strand Conquistador braid, a much quicker way of obtaining the Conquistador pattern. Use this one for bracelets, dog collars, belts, all sorts of straps. Thank you for joining me and see ya next time.